Let's begin by looking at the salutations. To make the standing bow, stand up straight and bend forward from the waist to an angle of about 30 degrees while sliding your fingertips down to slightly above your kneecaps. To make the sitting bow, place both hands in front of your knees so that the index fingers of both hands are facing each other and are about 6 centimeters apart. Let's look at the bows from the side. The angle of the standing bow is about 30 degrees. Kneel on your left knee with your toes placed on the floor and follow with your right knee. For the sitting bow, bow from the waist so that your forehead is about 30 centimeters above both hands, making sure not to raise your hips. Place the toes of your feet on the floor and stand, starting with your right foot. The first tewaza is uki otoshi. Each technique should be performed from both directions, the left and the right. Start from a position about 60 centimeters apart. On the third step, you break the uke's balance to the front and throw him by pulling hard. Note the position and angle of the tori's feet on completing the throw. The angle should be about 30 to 45 degrees. The main point of uki otoshi is that you pull the uke down as he takes his third step. After completing the throw, you should fix your gaze ahead. Next, seoi nage. As the uke aims a downward blow at your tento, or top of your head, you press your back against the uke's chest and abdomen to lift and throw him forward. The uke steps forward with his right foot and raises his fist above his head to aim steadily at your tento. Note how the tori uses his left hand to ward off the uke's arm and lift him on his back. Step forward with your right foot and take a firm hold of the uke's arm just as he is about to aim the downward blow. Press your back firmly against the uke and straighten your knees to execute the throw. Besides the seoi nage, there are 3 other techniques in which the uke aims a downward blow at the tori's tento: ukigoshi, uranage, and yokoguruma. The third tewaza is kata guruma. On the second step, switch your grip from the uke's elbow to the middle inner sleeve and take a big step back. Then lower your hips to lift him up and throw him to the front corner. And now from the other side. Note the way the tori uses his left hand. He grips the uke's inner sleeve with the fingers on top. In kata guruma, you press your nape against the uke's hips to lift him. You won't be able to lift the uke properly unless you lower your hips and press your nape against his hips. Because the tori has not lowered his hips sufficiently, the position of the head's too high. Compare the position of the head with the correct form on the left. A common mistake is to grip the uke's pants to lift him. The correct way is to press the palm of your hand against his leg without grabbing the pants. On being lifted, the uke should straighten his knees so that his entire body is straight. He supports himself by pressing the palm of his hand against the tori's back. After finishing kata guruma, you adjust your uniforms and move on to koshi waza. Uki goshi involves twisting the body to execute the throw. From a position 1.8 meters apart, the uke steps forward and attempts to strike your tento. Before the below connects, you pull his hips towards you and twist his body to execute the throw. This is rare footage showing the founder of judo, Master Jigoro Kano, as he teaches students the ukigoshi, a technique he was particularly fond of. He emphasizes the importance of twisting the hips to execute the throw. Next, harai goshi. The important thing to remember is to sweep upward without bending your leg. After taking 2 steps, slip your hand behind the uke's back and break his balance to the corner front. Then press your hips firmly against his abdomen and sweep upwards with your leg to execute the throw. This shows how you break the uke's balance. Remove your hand from the uke's front collar and slip it underneath his arm and behind his back to pull and break his balance. When sweeping the uke's leg, keep your leg straight and sweep upwards. And now, surikomi goshi. Grab the uke's rear collar. Be careful not to grip the front collar, which is what quite a few people do. The main points are the movement of the feet after taking the 3rd step and the lowering of the hips so that they're pressed firmly against the uke's front thighs.